Dear friends, I just wanted to pause in this Passion Week to encourage you with a few words from Hebrews chapter 12. To persevere is to doggedly continue in a course of action, even in the face of adversity or difficulty. And so perseverance is the ability to do that, the ability to endure the difficult, even over the long haul. The times in which we find ourselves is a time to determine to persevere, a time to persist, to endure with a resiliency of spirit that faithfully endures this hardship and stays the course. In the most recent days, I've been watching and hearing more and more focus on the spiritual and emotional impact of being quarantined or isolated or maintaining distance for our health. But of course, this remedy is not without its spiritual and emotional side effects, because we're social creatures with a built-in need for social, emotional, spiritual, personal interaction with other people, something in the church that we call fellowship. When I think of the need to endure difficulty or to persevere through adversity, my mind turns to the encouragement of Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 through 3. There we read, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinful people, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart." Hebrews 12, of course, follows Hebrews 11. Hebrews 11 accounts for the great examples of people of faith in the Old Testament. These are the great cloud of witnesses to faith in God who have gone before us and are pictured here in Hebrews 12:1 as surrounding us, as including us in their fellowship. These people of great faith serve as examples of those who endured trial and adversity, persecution, even those who were martyred for their faith. And they did all of this, Hebrews 11 tells us, by faith. But the premier example, surpassing all others, is our Lord Jesus Christ in his suffering and sacrifice for us. And so the writer of Hebrews here gives us a twofold plan of action to keep us from growing weary and losing heart in our trials. First, we should divest ourselves of anything in our lives that hinders us and any sin that entangles us as we run the marathon of life that is marked out for us. And so let me encourage you to make this a time to set aside unhealthy habits and pursuits. They may not even necessarily be evil, but these are things that weigh us down. These are things that sap us of our energy, of our strength, of our life's resources. And take this opportunity as well to purify your hearts through overcoming sinful habits and strategies and attitudes that reflect not the kingdom values of God, but the values of sinful pride and selfish pursuits. Divest yourself of sin and worldly entanglements. That's the first component of God's action plan. The second component of God's action plan is to fix our eyes on Jesus. Fix our eyes on Jesus, who is called here the pioneer and completer, the author and finisher of our faith. And then continuing, this passage also tells us to consider him. Consider him who endured such opposition of sinners against himself in view of the joy that was set before him. In other words, like Jesus, we should endure our trials in view of our hope. Endure our trials, like this one, in view of our hope. Because you see, hope is fuel for perseverance. Hope is fuel for perseverance. Be hopeful. Keep a hope-filled perspective on life, even in the heat of trials. And here's why. Because only good is the end game for God's people. Only good is our end game. Our good God is bringing all things to completion for our good. All things are working together for our good. To those of us who love God, Romans 8 tells us. As God here in Hebrews 12 exalted Jesus in his glory, set him down at his right hand, God too will someday glorify us in his presence. That is our hope. That is our hope. Keep that hopeful perspective on life. Be hopeful. And if we'll do these two things that Jesus did in his passion, according to Romans 12, his suffering and death to save us, if we will do these two things, we will not grow weary and lose heart. We will not give up. We will persevere. We will continue to endure this trial and any other that comes our way. On Good Friday, I'll upload a communion service video prompt that you can use with your family if you would like, or you can just choose to worship and celebrate it on your own. But let me encourage you on this Good Friday to include the bread and the cup of remembrance in your Good Friday observances. And as you do that, consider him who endured such opposition from sinful people so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. Persevere. Endure this hardship. Divest yourself of sinful entanglements and anything that hinders. Keep a hopeful spirit and fix your eyes on Jesus so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. And may God bless you.